You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show. You're welcome to another interesting, informative, and educative platform talking about Health Lagos on the City of Lagos TV show. Of course, we know that one very global and significant sector that has some level of strategic importance in nation building is the health sector. And for a fast growing mega city like Lagos, this forms part of the themes agenda of the current governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. And when we talk about health, a very critical aspect of health is health technology. But what is the strategic relevance of health technology in providing quality health infrastructure and health care for residents of Lagos State? Interestingly, there is an organization, but we call it the college. We're talking about the Lagos State College of Health Technology. This is one institution that, of course, has made quite significant achievements in providing manpower in the critical health sector of Lagos. And so today we're going to be speaking with the provost, Dr. Moyo Kazim. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
For the purpose of local and international understanding of who is actually the captain of the ship, talking about the Lagos State College of Health Technology, this is a very critical college in the city of Lagos. So can we know and can we meet properly Dr. Moyo Kazim?
Thank you again for inviting me, for giving me this platform to showcase Lagos State College of Health Technology. On a personal note, my name is, like you rightly said, Dr. Moyo Kazim. I was born and raised in Ekwe, city of Ekwe, Ekwe Division. Grew up, went to Ansarudin Primary School there, went to Ansarudin Modern School. I had a short stay at Ekwe Grammar School, and then ultimately I went to Government Teacher Training College in Ekwe there. From there, I actually was exposed to the line of teaching and education, and also in athletics also. I actually represented Lagos State in Nigeria as a whole at a very young age, at the tender age of 15 years old. I started representing Lagos State in the game of volleyball and basketball. And I made the Nigerian national team at the age of 16 and started representing Nigeria since that period. Even when I was in the Teachers College, and we have international engagement. We will go outside the country to represent Nigeria and then come back, and all the classes and lectures I've missed. My principal at the time will organize special lectures for me and then make up exams and things like that. So I've been in the business of giving back to my state and my country at a very tender age. Even when I had the opportunity not to travel to the United States to further my education, I always get re-invited back to the country to represent Nigeria at Commonwealth Games, All African Games, and other international competition. So when the call came also to come and be the first provost of this college, of course I didn't hesitate to come back home from the US to come and give back again as usual. So and we've been doing that, for some time now to put Lagos State College of Health Technology on the map, to make sure that whatever we do here meets the international standard, and also to constantly follow the best practices all over the world. Because our job and the students that we train here, ultimately, once they're done training here, they deal with human life. So we take their education very seriously. So in a nutshell, because of time period, that's who Dr. Moyo Kazim is.
What actually gave birth to College of Health Technology, and to what extent has this institute been able to drive the vision, the mandate, and the mission statement, which of course we would like you to also let us know?
This is the oldest College of Health Technology in the country, if not the oldest institution in Nigeria. It was founded in 1920 is over 100 years old. Back in the days, when we had the bubonic plague all over the world, this same college, this same hologram, as the area where personnel were trained, to deal with that plague. Initially, they had, the so-called Wole Woles, back in the colonial days. This is the same campus where they were trained, and the college, again, has been established way before Unilag, UI, and Onsuka, Abu Zaria, and all of the famous institutions in the country. This is an institution that has been serving not just Lagos State citizens, but has been serving the whole country for a long time, to come. And fits into the theme agenda. We produce, the mid-level manpower in our healthcare system. Without the professionals in training that we produce here, our healthcare system would not work. And that's why, people even from other states still come to this college to understudy, this college so that they can also establish the same standard at their own various states within the country. Our vision statement here is simply to be the premier destination for excellent learning, producing world-class allied healthcare professionals. Our mission statement is to train competent and motivated graduates imbued with a sense of social responsibility in a conducive environment with renowned faculty employing state-of-the-art technology to meet the evolving healthcare needs of Lagosians and Nigeria as a whole.
Can you define for us, from your own professional perspective, what is health technology really? Because a lot of people, the health sector is hugely diversified. Yes. And so when you come across an institute of this nature, College of Health Technology, people want to know exactly what is the scope of operation really?
Well, it's quite simple. It's a mixture of healthcare delivery and training competent and skilled healthcare providers using up-to-date technology that is out there today compared to maybe 40, 50 years ago. If you fast forward to today now, technology has really taken over everything that we do. And the healthcare sector is not exclusive of that. So what we try to do is to make sure that through the help of our dynamic governor that has been giving us the support that we need. The support has been tremendous. Kudos goes to our able governor, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, through the dynamic and visionary special advisor, Barrister Tokunbo Wahab. It's been the umbilical cord between us and Mr. Governor, and it's been there all the way, all along. This college, as we speak, we can beat our chest that in Nigeria as of today, no other college of health technology can beat us when it comes to the resources that we have, the up-to-date equipment that we have to train our students in this college. So the issue of health technology is a mixture of healthcare delivery using up-to-date and state-of-the-art technology to make that happen for our citizens.
So let's take you up on the state-of-the-art technology. And of course, you also mentioned resources. Can you give us a very vivid encapsulation of this state-of-the-art technology? And to what extent have you been able to mold the students to be able to align with the use of this modern technology, health technology?
Let me first of all start by mentioning some of the programs that we run here. We have School of Community Health Extension Worker. They're normally or well known as the CHU. We have JCHU, which is Junior Community Health Extension Worker. We have pharmacy technicians. We have medical lab technician programs here. We have health information management. We have biomedical equipment technology also. Mr. Governor realized, especially during the COVID-19, that one of the gaps that we have in our healthcare system is that the government invests so much money, hundreds of millions of naira, into buying all this sophisticated, well-deserved, equipments that we need in our healthcare system. But the issue is that when those equipment sometimes goes down, there's no cadre of worker within the system that can come in and repair on time and not have any kind of gap or delay in the relation between the doctors and the patient. So it was based on this that Mr. Governor encouraged and give us all the support that we need to start the BMET program, Biomedical Equipment Technician programs. These are the cadres of workers in the system will be able to manage and repair and calibrate all the medical equipments that we have in our system. We also have School of Mobile Sciences. These are the cadres of workers that takes care of our departed ones so that they can give the family of the disease, some level of reducing their stress, going through what they're going through because they've just lost a loved one. So we have those that take care of the disease, the embalming in funeral services and things like that. We do have them here. We also have School of Complementary Health Sciences. This is complementary health to orthodoxy. And we have 5 different specialty areas in that area. We have acupuncture, homeopathic, we have chiropractic, osteopathic, and naturopathic. These are to complement the orthodoxy, for our patients, so that our patient can have a whole good range of access to, good healthcare in Lagos State and in the country as a whole.
Let's come to your human capacity, because for you to turn out quality graduates, you need high, top-notch professionals. So what is the human capacity strategic master plan of this college?
Ultimately, our goal is to make this college the first university of health technology in the country. Our college is being governed by 2 different bodies. We have the professional bodies, and we also have National Board for Technical Education, NBTE. We have a professional line, professional diploma, a 3-year program in most of the schools that I just mentioned earlier, the programs. And we also have the NBTE, the academic track, so to speak, where we offer both ND and HND programs in those programs. So we do have qualified, well-trained, well-skilled professionals in those various programs that I've mentioned. And then, of course, we also have top-notch, lecturers. And we're still in the process of also recruiting even more lecturers, to come into the college. One of the things, that is, again, commendable about Mr. Governor and, of course, also the special advisor is that they give us the resources that we need for continuous training for all of our staff, both academic and non-academic staff. And they also create the conducive environment for them to blossom, to be the best that they can be. When it comes to each area of research, whether going for continuing education, both within and outside the country, the flexibility of time and that conducive environment created by the lead of our governor is what is making those things happen and becomes reality for all of our staffs here.
Thank you very much. Well, in case you just joined us, you're watching Health Lagos on the City of Lagos TV show, where we're taking a very interesting look at the College of Health Technology, talking about the Lagos State College of Health Technology. And we're speaking with the provost, Dr. Moyo Kazim. Doctor, interestingly, we have witnessed tremendous infrastructural development within the college. We want to say congratulations for the current outlook. Now, what is really happening? Can you tell the international community and Lagosians what is actually, a vivid description of what they're expected to see when they come in here?
Thank you for the compliment, but the compliment actually goes to our governor and the special advisor on education. If you were here maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and you come back today, you see, just like you've said, the tremendous transformation of the new infrastructure that has been able to materialize here through the vision and the support of Mr. Governor. Even our students who have graduated, and they're now in the diaspora, when we send pictures online to them, they can't believe that this is the college they actually graduated from. So this, again, kudos goes to Mr. Governor. Lagos is growing, and Lagos State College of Health Technology is also growing. Just like during our campaign, I would say Lagos Rising. Last cohort is also rising. There's a tremendous demand for the programs that we offer here. Like some people will say, our population in Lagos is about around maybe 24 million and still growing every day. So our healthcare system, there's so much demand with that type of population, and a mega city like Lagos is. So there's a huge demand for what we do here. So that's the reason, one of the genesis why Mr. Governor saw it fit that we must improve on our infrastructure. The physical difference that I can tell you, it's quite obvious. We have more lecture hall compared to what we used to have in the past. And we have more offices, and we have more laboratories also for our various programs. But technically, I can tell you that we've truly outgrown this area. Our appeal to Mr. Governor is to please give us a more befitting, permanent, and bigger site. Because as you and I speak and dialogue today, we have over 12, 13 new programs that we know that our healthcare system needs, that we can bring on board right now. But because of the constraint of space that we have in the Yaba area here on this campus, we cannot truly bring some of those programs online. One of the achievements we've done and creative way for us to manage, the space that we have here is that we've actually gone online also. Since 2013, we've gone online. So what we do now is an hybrid, so to speak. Our students spend a certain amount of time, almost 50% of their time online, and they also come to campus and spend 50% of their time online. This is the creative way we have been able to manage the space and also manage the influx of new students. I remember when I first came here, the college used to admit maybe roughly less than 200 students per year. But now we're in the range of over 800 students.
Let's look at the achievements generally. I just want you to catalog them, highlight them properly, so that we can be able to understand that, okay, we were here, but right now we're here. So what are those very significant achievements of the college so far in terms of the turnout, in terms of student performance, in terms of workforce performance?
One of the achievements is that we're now up to over 700, over 800 students. As a matter of fact, we had to turn some students back because of the lack of, the space constraint that we have. That's one great achievement. Another great achievement is, again, going online. Best practices all over the world. They can be a Harvard graduate and never set a foot at Cambridge. Our students now can, really participate anywhere they are in the world, not just within the country, by, taking some of their courses online. Great achievement. I also remember, that we changed our grading system, for example. Back in the days, 40 used to be the pass mark here. We changed that dynamics. That it's not the best practices of the world. We need to raise the standard. What we do here is we deal with human life, and we want the best of the best. Our students and also as lecturers and even non-academic staff, they have to be the best. So we changed that dynamics. Now for a student in this college now, our academic standard, for you to score a letter grade A, you must score between 90 and 100. Letter grade B, you must score between 80 and 89. Letter grade C, between 70 and 79. Letter grade D, between 60 and 69. Anything below 60 is an F. That's what is expected. That's what Mr. Governor expects from us, to make sure that our standard is high. That's why Lagos State College of Health Technology today in Nigeria is the number one. Because at the end of the day, once our student graduates from here, they also have to sit and take their licensing exam, conducted by various boards that regulate and give accreditation for all of our programs. Our performance rate is always been 80 and above, success rate. Recently, in I think about 3 or 4 of our schools, our performance was over 90% success rate. So we are constantly churning out highly skilled, well-educated, well-grounded professionals into our healthcare system. But the biggest challenge we have, and I'm sure you're probably going to ask that, is the issue of this brain drain called JAPA syndrome that we have. I think it affects all the tertiary institutions in the country. It's not just unique to College of Health Technology, but our health sector is more affected, I think, than any other sector in the country. I mean, that's my own personal opinion, not based on any statistics, but I feel that's the way it is right now.
What's the level of synergy and collaboration between the college and local or international institutions or non-governmental organizations? Yeah.
What we do is, at the end of every semester, or even at the end of their program here, they either go for a SIWES, Student Industrial Work Experience Scheme, or they go for an IT 1 year. So we have MOU with both government organizations and private sector also in the healthcare field. And we're now in the process. Our next level now is now to start having collaboration with other universities within and outside Nigeria, so that our students can be educated through the collaboration of us and those other universities, without having to go to that other university main campus to get their degrees.
Looking at the potentials of this college, how have you been able to also help other health institutions across the states of the Federation? Is there any way you have been able to support them really?
Yes, for those who present themselves to us, as I mentioned earlier, some have been here to understudy Lagos State College of Health Technology. Akwa Ibom, a few years back, came here to understudy how we were able to integrate the TBAs, the traditional birth attendants, or what you call into the mainstream, and how Lagos State has been able to do that, and what is the connection between us and the traditional medicine board in Lagos State and the primary healthcare board in Lagos State. And they came here and were able to educate them on how these TBAs that used to work in the shadows before, but Lagos State government was able to bring them out into the open. to complement orthodoxy. Because they know that our people, our women, our wives, our daughters, they patronizes the TBAs. So the Lagos state government saw it fit that why not bring all these folks into the open? Let's try to educate them on how to practice modern medicine and complement that with them. Let them know their limitation. That once you've reached a limitation, you must refer, to a hospital, So they go through a training with the Traditional Medicine Board. And then after that training, they also come to Lagos State College of Health Technology, where they're actually, trained again to modernize their practices. And at the end of the day, before they graduate, they're now transmuted from TBAs to CBAs, from traditional birth attendants to community birth attendants, going through Lagos State College of Health Technology.
Okay, I know you've mentioned it earlier, talking about brain drain, but let's visit the matter again from a different perspective. Brain drain is a major challenge here, where we see young healthcare professionals needing the urgency to jet out of the country. So, Dr. Moyo, as a healthcare provider, as a professional, what do you think are those motivational strategies that can be introduced to possibly reduce the JAPA syndrome, especially for the high quality graduates, health professionals this college is turning out, of course, for them to move up to other whatever? Because you talked about your diaspora student alumni, is that correct?
Correct.
So, but how can we reduce it? Having done so much, training these students and losing them, what do you think are those strategies to keep them back home?
I think there are one or two or maybe three things that we can do. When I say we, I'm talking about collectively, not just the government alone. Even the parents have something to do with it, to really educate and trying to convince their wards to stay in the country. That we don't have any other state as a Lagosian than Lagos State. And as a Nigerian, we only have one Nigeria. And nobody's going to come to Nigeria to help us improve Nigeria. It's us. The change that you and I need start with you and I. It's not going to trickle down from Mr. President or from Mr. Governor. It's going to be a collective groundswell and also the directive from the top. And somehow, ultimately, they'll meet somewhere in the middle, both the grassroots and the government. Now, the issue of this brain drain, commonly now called JAPA syndrome, if all of us can focus on creating that conducive environment for our students to bring out the best in them when they're in school, give them all the tools that they need to bring out the best in them. The difference between us and them, and I'm saying this because I know, I've lived it. I lived in the US for 32 years. All my formative years were in the US. So it's not a question about what is up here, the brain. Nigerians, we can compete with anybody in the world. And that's a fact. It's not an emotional talk from me. Anywhere you go outside this country, the best of the best in any industry, both private and public, you always find Nigerians in there. Either as one of the best or among the best there. So it's not a question. And the question we need to ask now, why is it that the moment a Nigerian leaves the shores of this country, they now become among the best in the world? All I can tell you is because of that conducive environment. They let you be who you are. They challenge you academically. Less corruption in the system creates that conducive environment. So if our government can find a way to help all the institutions to create that conducive environment, that will go a long way. Number two is the issue of money. When I say conducive environment, it's not limited to just within the four walls of any tertiary institution, but also goes into our economic system. Do we have enough to go by? Are we producing those things enough instead of importation? Because it's one thing for you to graduate, and then once you start working, your salary cannot really truly support you and your family. And naturally, the natural instinct is that as a human being, you want to find somewhere because you want to take care of your family, where you can, earn more to take care of your family. So the issue of remuneration, comes in there. What is comparable? What is the dynamics of our economy in Lagos State? That is what is going to inform us to say, okay, this person deserves to be paid this much money as salary and other benefits that comes along with it, so that he or she can take care of their family. That's number two. Number three is for us to create an environment where we can be proud of being a Lagosian, of being a Nigerian. We have to have love of country.
Okay. And love of state.
And love of state is not there. One of the things that the government can do is to create those incentives for you to have love of country. Let me give you a good example now. In some of the so-called developed world, if you and I now, as a public servant, loses our job, there's what is called unemployment benefits that the government will pay you while you're looking for another job. If you lose your house, your rent, for example, they will give you a house. You might not like the neighborhood, but as a citizen of Lagos, as a citizen of Nigeria, they would rather have you in a house rather than being on the street with your family. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't have healthcare insurance, the law says that once you present yourself at the hospital, for example, by law, they must not turn you down because you can't pay. They must first of all save your life and worry about payments later. If you don't have enough food to eat, that is what is called food stamp. They will give you, and the amount you get depends on how big your family is, so that you can use that to purchase food so that your family will not go. So how can you not have love of state and love of country? So if all of these things are there, you will find out that most of our young people would not be incentivized to want to go outside Nigeria after they've acquired all that education. And the most disheartening thing is Lagos State government invests so much into our students' education here through bursary and scholarship. All that's hundreds of thousands of naira. And the moment the student graduates, boom, the other investment is wasted because they jet out and now go out there to develop other countries' economy. So these are some of the few things that I think, if we can get, a hold of it and we can implement some of these things, I think it'll begin to limit the rate at which people japa, from Nigeria.
The present administration, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has won another 4-year term. And this, of course, signifies continuity in government. Now, as a provost, we're very sure you're going to be flying with a team. What are going to be the projective plans and aspirations of this college in the next 4 years?
In the next 4 years. We are elated, we're happy, we're excited. In actuality, in reality, to be quite honest and fair, Mr. Governor, the Deputy Governor also, Dr. Unseat, deserve second term. They've been everywhere. There's no aspect or no sector of the economy in Lagos State, both private and public, that this government have not touched. So they truly and sincerely deserve the second term. And all of us are happy and we're elated, we're excited. Just like Oliver Twist, we're not there yet. We have not reached that promised land. I'm talking about Lagos State and Lagos State College of Health Technology also. We're not there yet. Like I said, we have space constraint, for example. Even though we're not shutting this place down, the population of Lagos State 100 years ago is not what it is today when this college was founded. So we have truly outgrown this place. So our hope and prayer is that we'll keep this place. We keep some of our programs here, but we need to go to a more befitting, a bigger campus so that we can truly bring all those programs on board. On top, one critical program on top of that list is the paramedics program. Any mega city in the world will have their paramedics, the emergency technician. Lagos State actually needs that. And this is the only college that can actually train those paramedics. People that are working as ambos were trained here. We have intermediate, then we have the paramedics. It's a 3-layer type of training. So these are some of the challenges we have, and this is some of the things that we're looking forward to in the next 4 years that Mr. Governor will be able to help us to solve for Lagos State citizen and of course Nigeria as a whole. In terms of personnel, we need to be given the autonomy to be able for us to advertise and recruit well qualified, both academic and non-academic staff. We're in the process of doing that now with the staff. Ultimately, it'll get to Mr. Governor's desk, and I'm sure that Mr. Governor will give us that autonomy. And lastly, yes, the tremendous transformation, infrastructure that you've seen coming onto this campus now is not completed yet. It's about 80 to 90% completion right now. So we need Mr. Governor. I know our able special advisor on education is working very hard to make sure that contractors get those few funds needed for them to actually complete this whole place and hand the buildings, to us so that we can now begin to maximize the use of those buildings. Those are the present issues that we have and challenges that we have currently.
So, Dr. Moyo, on a final note, what's your word of encouragement to the students, the workforce, and to Lagosians in general?
Well, to my student first, great Nigerian student, great last cohort student, great, is for them to continue on the journey that they've embarked on, to make sure that they do not lose any focus of the reason why they're here. The number one reason why you're here is for your academics. And you have chosen this field. Not everybody can choose to want to take care of another human being. I commend you, and I'm happy that you have chosen Lagos State College of Health Technology. Please, I'm not saying you should not have a good time. This is the age where you have a good time, but please do not lose focus of the reason why you're here. To our parents out there, I know our culture is that you want your students, once they graduate from high school, you want them to go to university. Please, let us start rethinking. Let them come to Lagos State College of Health Technology here. Be a professional in their field. It does not stop them from going ultimately to university and all the way to acquiring their PhDs at the university at all. But anywhere you go in the world, you'll find those people, our colleges, they are the engine of our healthcare system anywhere in the world. We produce mid-level manpower for all the healthcare system all over the world. Without the people that we train here, our healthcare system will come to a halt. Because naturally, a doctor cannot do the job of an X-ray technician. A doctor cannot do the job of a surgical technician in the surgical room. Same thing applies to all the other professions in the healthcare field. We are the engine of it. Please, take a look at Lagos State College of Health Technology, send your word here, and before you know it, they'll be done and will be highly skilled. And they'll be the one to change our healthcare system so that all of us, you and I, can have confidence in our healthcare system and will not have this syndrome, or even of our elites. Whenever they have a headache or a stomach ache, the first thing they look for is their passport. They want to go and seek medical help somewhere else outside Nigeria. Why is that? It's because they don't have confidence in our own healthcare system here. We are the one that need to start changing that thinking, that paradigm. We need to have that paradigm shift. Please come visit Lagos State College of Health Technology. You can be rest assured that we're doing the right things here. And we're trying to make sure that you ultimately will begin to have that confidence in our healthcare system, not just in Lagos State, but in Nigeria as a whole.
Dr. Boyo Kazim, thank you for coming on Health Lagos on the City of Lagos TV show. It's been quite interesting having you on the program. So your final word to the governor?
Well, hopefully it will not be a final word, but I will say that on behalf of Last Cohort community, the students, academic, non-academic staff, even our community here at Lagos mainland, in Yaba area, we want to say we appreciate you tremendously for the support that you've given us. Thank you very much. You and your team, Dr. Amzad, His Excellency Deputy Governor of Lagos State, through the umbilical cord that connects us to you, which is our able and dynamic visionary special advisor on education, Barrister Tokunbo Wahab. We say thank you very much for all that you do. Please continue to give us the support that we need. I've said one or two things about some of our challenges, immediate challenges. We hope and pray that very soon, once this information gets to your desk, Mr. Governor, please give us all the resources and the support that we need so that the college can continue to move forward. Thank you again.
Provost, Lagos State College of Health Technology, Dr. Moyo Kazim. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Moyo Kazim, giving us a very clear picture of the efforts, initiative, programs, and projects of the college in the bid to provide quality healthcare delivery through top-notch, powerful human resources, health human resources for the betterment of Lagos. And of course, this falls in line with the themes agenda of the Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led government in Lagos. Well, that's it on the City of Lagos TV show for now. The program will continue in a moment. Stay tuned.
Lagos.